Good afternoon. This is Michelle Padilla, the host of the Awareness Show, and I have a lovely lady, Jane Dorian. She's going to tell me what she does and why she loves doing it. So, Jane, take it away.
All right. Well, I am the manager of the Jerry Herman Legacy LLC. And for those of you who do not know the glorious music and lyrics that Jerry Herman wrote, let me give you just a little teaser. Hello Dolly, Mame and La Cage aux Folles. Those are the big ones, but there's so much more. And it really is my joy and privilege and honor. And I fall in love every day listening to his music. It's so lush and always relevant and always fresh. So I have the joy of overseeing that incredible body of work. So that is my love and my joy. And then I get to do something else that's equally fun. I sell luxury real estate in Los Angeles.
And how long have you been doing all this, may I ask?
So there was never a day without Jerry Herman until the day he passed in 2019. So I've always been peripherally involved in everything that Jerry was doing. So this just feels like a natural extension. And as far as real estate, I think it's been 25 years now. And it's hard to actually say that number, but it's been a while.
And I understand you're doing an auction for Jerry.
We have two really interesting and very different auctions. The first one is October 25th, and we are auctioning Jerry's unused crypt. Very important that we say that, because if I said his crypt, you'd think he was still in there, but he's not. Anyway, Studio Auctions is auctioning off the crypt on October 25th. And what makes this crypt so different and unusual and special is it is located at Pierce Brothers Westwood Memorial Cemetery. And it reads like the who's who of Hollywood. You've got Marilyn Monroe, Truman Capote, Farrah Fawcett, Billy Wilder, Jack Lemmon, just to name a few. And Jerry's unused crypt is located right next to Hugh Hefner's and one over from Marilyn Monroe's.
Wow.
Somebody wants to be interned with arguably the two sexiest people ever to have lived. This is your opportunity. And also it's kind of cool, and I didn't realize this until I kind of, had to address this. One body can go in the crypt or up to 4 urns with cremated remains. So if all family or friends want to be buried, or interned, I should say, together, next to Hugh and Marilyn, this is your opportunity.
That's going to be some party going on right now, right?
Don't you think? I know, right? And that has nothing to do with all the other glamorous celebrities who are interned there. And then the other auction is December 14th at Doyle's. And if you go to doyle.com, you can see the entire list with photographs of the memorabilia that's being auctioned off. And what's especially wonderful is Jerry decided that these are his wishes to have his memorabilia auctioned, and the proceeds are going to the ASCAP Foundation, because Jerry has a foundation, the Jerry Herman Foundation, that brings workshops to college-age kids and teaches them about musical theater and offers some scholarships as well.
Now, see, that was my next question. So you already answered my question.
There you go.
I think you've been talking to Harlan too long. So, so a little bit about our show. We've been doing podcasting 2013, and we've been getting well known thanks to Harlan. And so, recently I just did a presentation for podcasting at my agency. Hopefully, that people will like it and want more podcasting. So, because right now podcasting's in and they want more. So I have a chromosome called 22q11, little tiny piece of a chromosome on that small, and it has over 200 symptoms. So we have a heart condition, a learning disability, teething, feeding issues. It's the second most common to Down syndrome. And because you have all that, yeah, you have a whole bunch of issues going on. But each person who has this syndrome is unique and different. The doctors knew that I had this syndrome, but never told my parents.
Oh my.
So I've got the congenital heart defect. I've had three open heart surgeries, two sinus surgeries. I've had two mouth surgeries, ear surgery. I had a grandma seizure at the age of 17. So when we found out about it, like I said, a lot of other people didn't know about it because it was 1968 when it first got well, and it was called the George and then other names. And like Jerry, we have an event every year called the 22Q at the zoo, where we ask everybody to go at the zoo and get more awareness and wear a red t-shirt to support this cause. So it started that way and it grew. So now it's a little well known 22Q. So as you can see, my best friend did the logo, and behind it is it's a record, and here is the chromosome. So we have a lot of fun doing it. So tell me more about yourself. What do you like to do for fun?
Oh boy, so many different things. For me, work is fun. I'm so lucky that I love doing what I do. And just hearing Jerry's music is an awful lot of fun for me. I also have dogs, big dogs that I love to
Ah,
train and run around with. I love to cook. I love to travel. I love to do yoga. I love to walk. I love to entertain. I love people. So a very full life.
I speaking of dogs, I've got two golden retrievers myself. Yeah,
Aw.
they're my kids since I can't have any. So I have an 8-year-old golden retriever, and I also have a 2-year-old puppy, and he likes to run around and take everything out. So that's how we get our exercise at home. So it's just me and my mom, and so we love the dogs, but sometimes they can be a quite handful.
Oh, they are definitely a handful, and they demand a lot of attention, but they are so worth it. I mean, well, my question to you is because I've got an older dog and a younger dog as well. How is your older dog handling all of this energy?
Well, funny you should ask. He was kind of mopey. His name is Eeyore.
Aw,
And so my dad picked him out on the litter box, and because he had long ears, he still has the long ears. We kept the name Eeyore. The people who you know, called him Eeyore, we just kept him. That was my favorite character. So, in fact, let me see if I can show you what. Can you see it? No.
now I can. Aw,
That's
so
Cody.
sweet.
This one's my baby, my big fur ball right here.
Aw, he's gorgeous. Look at that.
So at first he was, kind of skeptical a little about the puppy. But now they're two best friends. They get along.
Awesome.
Cody is a bully. He likes to start the fights.
Always.
And we give him doggy ice cream and frappuccinos. Yes,
There you
they
go.
they do have doggy ice cream now, so check it out. It's
So
called Frost.
I'm aware of that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
So with your dogs, let me ask you this. What do you give them? What kind of food do you give them? Do you give them dry food? Do you make the food?
We give them a combination of both. We give them kibble and then we give them, I think, just for dogs food. So they love that. And then sometimes we throw in some human food as well. But I'm very disciplined. I've got German Shepherds and they're not what I would describe as big eaters. So I just put the food down, it's gone in 5 minutes, and that's sort of it. Although one dog loves duck and the other one loves salmon. So if I happen to have a little bit of extra, they're very happy.
Yeah. Well, my mom used to make their food all the time, and she would have enough to, last for a long lifetime. But since she retired, she had stopped doing that. So yeah. So I know Hello Dolly. I think that was my mom's or dad's favorite show. They liked Hello Dolly. So I love Broadway musicals. So, and I'm glad I got to meet you. What other auction items are going to be out up?
Well, I think the most exciting auction item, besides the crypt, obviously, is his piano.
Ooh,
And I think that's pretty special. We've got some wonderful clothes like show jackets, extraordinary photographs of Jerry with some celebrities. One of my all-time favorites is a an ivory key from a piano with the Jerry autographed, and that's in a lucite frame. A lot of his awards, including the Kennedy Center Award, um, some very special mementos, like when Carol Channing or Angela Lansbury were in a show, it was customary for an opening night gift for the celebrity to give a beautiful like sterling silver tray or, you know, Tiffany crystal something, all inscribed. Those are going to be auctioned as well.
D-
So
Does he have any family members left, or was he the only?
no, he was an only child. So I'm sort of like I'm kind of it, you know, it's you know, we were family. We created our own family, and you know, labels or exact relationships didn't quite matter as much as being a family.
Yeah, he's like me because I'm the only child. So, well, I don't know if you count my dogs, but that's a totally different story.
They're canine children, canine
Yes,
siblings.
yes, yeah. What? So, did he have a happy childhood, or what did he do from earlier?
Well, I think he definitely had a happy childhood. Yeah, he was an only child. He adored his mother in particular. There was a party at that house all the time, so much so that when he wrote the song "It's Today" for Mame, I think that was very much fashioned after his mother because she would say, "It's today, let's have a party," and they would have big, big parties at their house. Always a lot of fun. His parents owned a summer camp for kids up in the Berkshires called Stissing Lake. And Jerry each summer would write the camp shows. He would write the music and the lyrics, and he would direct, and he would do the set design and the costumes and the lighting, everything. So I really think, you know, he had a wonderful time being around lots of kids and had a lot of fun.
Is the lake still open? Do you know?
I don't know
Or
about the lake, but I don't, but the camp is not. Camp is,
okay, it's been closed for a while.
yeah.
I would have been that would have been a good idea to promote too. So if it was still open. So later in life, where did he go to school?
Well, he grew up in Jersey City, so he went to the public school there. And then he went to the University of Miami, where he met my mother. And he met my mother the first day of class. They were 17 years old. And they kind of circled the campus the very first day. They didn't really introduce themselves, but that night there was a party for the freshman students. So he was at the piano playing the American Songbook, and my mother sat down next to him, and she was a trained singer, and they started making music together, and they never stopped until she died.
Oh, and then you came along.
Yes, I was somewhere in between there, but yes, indeed.
So my question is, do you think they will do like a documentary of Jerry, or
There
is
is
that never?
one, there is one documentary, and you know, the issue with a documentary is you can only tell a certain amount, you know, in what, 90 minutes. So I think there's plenty of room for additional documentaries.
I think that'd be a good idea because he's got a lot of story to tell. Now, did he have any, the word I'm working in, celebrities that he loved or hanged out with, like Lucille Ball or
Well, let's see, not so much Lucille Ball. They certainly, you know, worked together. And the same thing with Barbara Streisand. But Jerry was very close with Carol Channing and Angela Lansbury. And you know, Carol did Hello Dolly for what, 40 years? I mean, she made that an institution,
is,
and they were
is she
very
still
close.
around?
No, she passed away a few years ago as well. You know, what's amazing is all of these wonderful, wonderful performers really made it into their 90s.
Yeah, Angela. Yeah, she just
Yep,
died recently. Yeah,
exactly. And so Jerry adored Angela Lansbury, and your viewers, your audience may be interested in knowing that he really wanted her to play Mame.
nice.
And so the producers were not so interested in the idea. So he taught her two songs. And when it was her time to audition, he snuck into the orchestra pit and played her audition. And she so wowed everybody else. The rest, as they say, is history.
History. Yeah, that's how you have to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, so my thing is, what would you tell today's listeners about Jerry and Hello Dolly if they want to, pursue Broadway music or listen to, oh, not old to us, but old to them, if that makes sense.
Right. So I think that, Jerry's body of work is so much more than just Hello Dolly. Hello Dolly it's an incredible show. It's about second chances. And it was the first happy musical after the Kennedy assassination. And our country really needed an opportunity to heal and to laugh again and to, quote a line from the show, rejoin the human race.
Yeah,
I think the show allowed the country to do that.
I think so. And especially nowadays, sometimes you just have to have a good feel about songs. So that was one of the good songs back in the day, and it's still a good song today. So,
Well, the Hello Dolly song, this is really quite interesting. Back in the day, you're probably too young to remember, but there was something called 48s, 45s, excuse
I remember that.
It was a single album. Side A was the very popular song that everyone looked forward to, and side B was just kind of a throwaway song. So for the throwaway song on this 45, somebody in the recording studio literally threw this Hello Dolly song to Louis Armstrong. And this was before the show had even opened. So Louis Armstrong never even prepared the song. And he literally just sight read the whole thing. And the recording of Hello Dolly went, went through the charts. It knocked the Beatles off the charts.
Wow. And I do know what a 45 is because my dad. So,
He still has them. Okay. And
well,
have
he
you
did,
seen
yeah.
78s? Have you seen 78s? Because I've got a few of those too. 78s,
Well,
it's like some of the earliest Broadway shows like Paint Your Wagon or some of the opera records were on 78. So those are kind of fun.
I was born in 76.
Oh,
So,
you're a baby.
yeah, I'm a baby. I don't know. My mom might have some of that or my grandparents because they were born in the 30s. So, yeah. They love Broadway musicals and everything. Yeah. So, I get a lot of music is from my dad's side, my mom not too much. And so he would used to quiz me on certain things. She loved Broadway musicals. So did my uncle. He used to take us to go see Broadway musicals. We saw what was what I can't pronounce that name. It had a donkey and everything, and I can't think of it right now, but I'll send you the clip if I can remember it.
Okay.
And my mom just loved that, and she was just, she loved Liz Morales. She loves that. She loved Hello Dolly. She loved Barbara Streisand. So my mom's
Yes.
gonna, yeah, my
Well,
mom's gonna,
good
yeah,
taste.
yeah, she does. And so, because she was born in the 50s, 1955. So that's all the stuff that, happened, like you said. And it was a time for people to heal, get better because of what happened to JFK, you know. So a lot of things changed.
Right. Well, I think your mom was born sort of in that golden time when people did go to the theater
Yeah.
and if you were lucky, you could go once a week and you got to see one fabulous show after another because Broadway really is the American art form.
Yeah.
And, as I travel to see it, these same shows done in many different countries, they do a wonderful job, but there's kind of an American spirit, a joie de vivre that is uniquely American. And it's really, really wonderful to see.
Yeah, it is. I kind of like it. And then uh, my advice one thing is how long will the auction be open to the public? Okay, or is
Uh,
it online too?
It's
That's my
it's on
question.
it's online. Both of
Okay.
them are online. I think interestingly, most auctions have gone online, although you could go if you wanted to in New York and be there physically as well. But I'm surprised, it used to be, I always told my friends who went to these very big auctions, with the paddles and everything, I said, be very calm. You don't want to flinch or you might, be purchasing something way more expensive than you had ever intended to. So, but it's very, very different now. It's
Yeah, you
on
don't want to You don't want to bid like 2,000, $5,000, and you don't know what you're getting first.
Exactly, exactly.
Is there like a catalog that's going to be stuff that's going to be sold or a
No,
list?
no sale of the intellectual property. Really important that it is presented properly and just always well, not not with the only with the correct intent, but also just produce in a lush sort of a way with wonderful orchestras, top rate talent, great directors. And I think it's important. You don't want to ever see a bad production of something. It would leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, like I said, no, you don't want that. So we're almost out of time. My favorite question is, what do you hope next for Jerry? What do you see next in the future?
My hope is that we can get younger generations to really know and appreciate Jerry's music because his music is for the ages. It's not just limited to our time, it's universal and actually kind of important for the soul. It really is, it really feeds the soul. And now when times are so troubling, it's great to have a little bit of humor. I mean, sometimes I think about a song called Tap Your Troubles Away. When things get really bad, I think, oh, we should just take out our tap shoes and tap our troubles away. It would be so much better. But like I said, I'd love for younger artists to start recording the songs so that it brings more awareness to what his music is. Because if you have a property that really takes place in a particular time,
Time, yeah.
exactly, then it doesn't matter what the actual year is. You can go back in time and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's weird because nowadays these kids want to play like video games and they don't care about anything else. What was it the other day? Our younger generations are now calling people that were born in the 90s 1900s.
That's so funny. Well, I think there's another issue too, and you started to touch upon it when you're talking about computers and everything, the electronic. Most new music today is very formulaic,
Yes.
and you just kind of know it's not
Generic.
it's generic. It's not that it's bad, it's pleasant and everything else, but the old timers really knew how to write music.
Yep.
It art, it was melodic, it was interesting, and they had something important to say. And I miss that. I'm hoping that a whole new generation of young, composers and lyricists, and also book writers for that matter,
Right.
emerge and they start writing and about important things. What's going on? What is this confusion or insanity we're all experiencing today? It would be so much better if you could sing about it. I think we'd then be able to talk about it.
I think so too because I cannot understand today's music except for some music, but it's just a lot of rap these days, and you're
Well, rap can be good. I mean, take
to a point.
Hamilton. Yeah,
Yes.
but take Hamilton, for example. Hamilton is rap,
Yes.
and I so admire that
Yes.
show and the music and lyrics because it literally opened up Broadway to a whole new generation. And it took history and turned it on its ear,
Yeah.
and asked all of us to look at things very, very differently. That to me is the gift of theater.
And another thing is Sabrina Carpenter. She's doing really good with her songs. So there
Yes.
is some songs out there that are good today, but there are also bad songs that are not really supposed to be on the
So it's
radio.
up, right, but it's up to us to ask our artists to do better for us.
Yes, exactly. Instead of playing video games or using AI to make their music now. Okay, so that's my question to you. How do you like AI? Are you a fan of AI? Do you want to use AI?
Well, AI is here and here to stay. And like anything, it could be used for good things or for bad things.
Yes.
I happen to think that it could be an interesting tool, for example, for a writer. Let's just say you're writing for a television show and you're under a lot of pressure to get your script in by a certain time and you don't know how to end an episode. Well, you can kind of plug it into AI, and AI might spit out 15 possible endings. And then you can look at them and say, oh, you know what? I think this one would be best. But to rely on AI,
Mm.
absolutely not. I believe in the spark of the creative spark of the divine, call it whatever it is that you want. But I think machines can only go so
So
far,
far, yeah.
and then
Um,
there's human soul.
there was an article, a college student is using AI to write his own paperwork without having his own words. And the professor said, no, you're not using AI. This is not your work. You need to write it over again in your words. And I think he got a good point about that because, like you said, that was the bad part of AI, you know? So, and then, like the song goes, you take the good, you take the bad, and there you have the facts of life.
Exactly. So, for example, if the scientists could plug in all the information about your particular, genetic, issue, that to me would be a phenomenal use
Yes.
of AI. But then I go back to, do you remember when the pilot Scully landed the plane on the Hudson River in
Yeah.
New York?
Yeah.
Well, if he relied on the computer models, and it's not quite as good as AI, but the computer models, the plane would have crashed and all the passengers on
Teachers would have
board
passed away.
died.
Yeah.
Exactly. But call it that spark of God, call it that human moment when time stands still and you make the right choice, the right decision. So that's why I think if we can use AI to
For the good side of things.
exactly, to help us, amazing, but to rely on it, no.
Nah.
I
Yeah.
believe people.
That's why a lot of college students today are trying to use AI because they don't want to, write the paperwork, which makes sense.
Yeah, but what happens if the grid goes down? Then what? If you don't have the tools with which to do what you need to do, you'll really be lost.
Now, for people with disability on that side, that would help them a little bit,
We
you know,
see it's a good use for it. So AI is AI. It can be used for good things or bad
bad
things.
things
That's
or silly music or silly art. So,
exactly. It's up to us.
yeah.
We have to ask the decision makers to make good choices for all of us.
Yeah. And sometimes that's not always going to be a good, easy subject to do that. So my question is, how can they reach you if they want more information about your auction coming up? And do you have a social media page about your auction?
So great question about social media, and I should probably get on the horn on that. However, again, if you go to studioauctions.com or doyle.com, you will find those. And you can also go on the Jerry Herman website. That's jerryherman.com, and you'll see links to all of that as well.
Jane, I would like to have a follow-up after the auction's over, and I want to find out how successful it was, and I want to make sure everything was okay. So would you like to do a follow-up with
I
me?
would love to do a follow-up. That would be such fun.
Well, thank you. And I'd love to hear more about Jerry, and maybe we can do it more about his life, earlier life. And I love this show. Thank you, Jane, for being a part of the Awareness
My
show today.
pleasure.
And I hope this week is going to be a beautiful weekend. And the next week, we're going to be up in the 90s again. So there you go.
All right.
Have a good day.
Take care.
You
Thank you.
too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.